Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Quinn. Today, I'm going to show you how to install a winch on the front of your truck, and you're not even going to have to take off the front bumper. So whether you're looking to conquer an off-road trail, go on an epic overland trip, or you just need to move something heavy, this is a tool that you want on your truck. Let's get back to the shop. I'll show you how to install it.
So here's a quick overview of our kit. It comes with all the heavy duty bracketry to mount the winch securely underneath the truck. One of the new features of our winch mount is it comes with the full integrated skid plate system right up to the front bumper. Another nice little thing is our integrated bumper insert. So this will make it a no drill, no cut kit. This inserts in where the factory insert is. Now you'll notice on the website there's two options. There's a standard version and there's off-road version. The off-road version comes with two Vice SL8 light bars, as well as Vice manufactured wiring harnesses that plug into your factory harness, making it a true plug and play kit. We also sell a couple tried and true accessories that really top off the kit. First being our clutch handle relocation kit. This actually joins and relocates the handle of the winch to the front of the mount, making it easy and fun to use, as well as our control box relocation kit, which puts the control box of the winch up into the engine bay, protecting it, as well as making it easier to plug in your remote. So that's the kit. Let's get right into it. First step, park your truck on a flat piece of ground, apply the e-brake, chock the tires, and disconnect the battery negative. To do that, 10mm socket on the negative terminal. Pull it off the terminal, remove this sensor plug, and tuck the assembly out of the way. First part we need to remove is this bumper insert here. It's held in place with a couple stiffeners as well as some fasteners along the backside. Should be noted that this entire assembly can be done on the ground, but we have a hoist, and when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, so we're going to use it. So the stiffener is held in with a T40 Torx and a 10mm. The rest of the skid plate is held in with 11 fasteners. Use a 13mm ratcheting wrench to remove them. While we're under here, we're going to remove the factory differential skid plate with a 16mm socket. So we're now going to turn our attention to prepping the winch. In today's install, we are going to be using the Warn VR Evo 10S winch. We've picked this winch because we believe it is the best bang for your buck winch out there, as well as it has a bunch of features that we're going to go over that make it perfect for using this kit. First thing we are going to do is remove the control box off the top. This is required for this installation. We've tucked the winch up as high as possible to keep maximum ground clearance, which means this has to be removed. To do so, remove the four 4mm fasteners off the bottom. I've already used this winch, so that's why that's already off. But to do that, pull out a row of line, and you'll be able to get an Allen key into the backside and pull it off. If you are going to be installing our clutch handle relocation kit, the next step is to rotate the end of the winch with the handle so that it faces the feet of the winch. I've already gone ahead and done that. We'll have a video up here that I'll link that we go into it in more detail, but essentially you're removing these fasteners, lifting it slightly, rotating, and putting it back down. Remove the handle from the winch. Saving the fastener. And we are going to replace that with our clutch relocation kit, which has a machined end that matches this winch here. It's got a O-ring seal, so just be careful not to damage that. Line up the hole with the thread. It will click on, and this part's important. Use the fastener we supply. It's the shorter of the two. And snug that back down. This ensures that it doesn't bottom out and keeps it from rotating. Before we go any further, we want to make sure the work we've done so far to the winch is correct. And to do that, let's turn the handle. You should have free spool. Turn it again, and you pull it, and if you hear it click, it's dropping back in place. And now the motor is engaged. So with confirmation that the clutch works, we are now going to turn our attention to relocating the control box. So remove the boots off of the short worn cables and install them on the ends of your relocation kit. Now the correct end is the one with the large terminal. It goes towards the winch. So slide them over the cables. And we are going to match the colors on the end of the winch to the colors of the wiring kit. Make sure that when you tighten these down, that none of the terminals are anywhere near to contacting the other ones. And then lastly, pull these boots all the way over the terminal to further isolate them. Grab the ground cable that comes packaged in a box with the winch and slide that over the ground terminal on the winch there. Don't forget to attach this ground cable that grounds the control box. Tighten that down. So a bit of pre-wiring on here. We're going to route this cable system up along the top side of the winch by the Warn logo. And with your cable ties, you can secure it in place using the holes that were used for mounting the control box. Just a little bit of a loop there for strain relief. That was close. That's further away from close. We're now going to focus on the bracket assembly. First step for that is grab this fair lead mount and your M10 U-nuts. They are going to slide over this flange here with the threaded section on this side here. So this flat section here. And what these are going to be for is the inspection plate that is going on the bottom. It'll snap right in place and repeat for the rest of the holes. If you're installing our clutch relocation kit, grab your UHMW bearing block and install it in the backside. The chamfered edge can sit flush against the metal. And that's retained in place with these fasteners that use a 4mm Allen key. I just snug those down like that. Attach the fairlead bracket to the primary winch mount like this, using the included M12 carriage bolts. They will slide through this slot and retain in place with the M12 flange nut. You'll notice a lot of the fasteners that we include here only require one tool to tighten them. Just a little detail that makes putting this together a lot easier. Install the winch onto the main mounting plate using the hardware that is included with the winch. So slide the square nuts into the mounting feet. And using the M10 hardware, we will attach it. So sliding like this. Clutch handles on this side. Line spools off the bottom. And just guide the clutch handle relocation into the bearing block, like so. And using the hardware, just get all the feet threaded. So this is slotted. So we're going to position the winch as high this way as possible, i.e. the top of the slots. Install the winch clutch handle onto the relocation kit. Orientating it this way if you've got the worn winch. And it should rotate like that. That will be free spool, and that will lock it in place. Just like all our other hidden winch mounting kits, this one comes with our proprietary hook mount, which keeps the hook from rattling around. Let's install that now. This hole on your left is what we use, and retain it in place with the M12 nut. Align it to the side with an 18mm socket and an 8mm Allen key. You can tighten that down. Install the winch fairlead using the winch hardware. Lastly, install the winch hook. The Warn VR Evo comes with this silver one, but we also sell this Epic hook, which is bigger, it's forged. While this one's totally up to the task, this one just completes the look of the front end. So we're going to install that. So clip that on and install the pin. Take the hidden winch mount assembly, slide it under the vehicle on a jack, and jack it up into place. There are 4 slots on the back side of the winch mount along here, and they will coincide with 4 holes that are in the lower cross member. Grab your M10 flange nuts that we supply and thread it into the first and third hole, which are already threaded. You can snug these down, center them in the slots and snug them down. We're going to torque everything again after. For our last two slots, we need to make some captive nuts. So take this bracket here and another M10 U-nut, clip that in place. So that the threaded section is same on the tab. And on the back side of the cross member are these openings, and you can just take this nut assembly and get it started on this fastener. This will rotate and catch, so you don't have to worry about a second tool in there. And then do it again for over here. I find it's easiest to go through this side. And then tighten those down.
Locate the last of the M12 hardware, as well as these plates here. What we're going to do is take two of these carriage bolts and retain them in place with these push lock washers. Grab a socket and seat them on there. And we're going to do that for the other bracket as well. Take these brackets and insert them up into the frame so the threads stick through these holes. And then grab these side stiffener brackets, slide that over, and follow it up with a flange nut. Through the main winch bracket, some more carriage bolts. And then we'll do the other side, level everything out and tighten it all down. With our winch mount assembly all in place, now it's time to torque all the fasteners for the winch and the winch mount to spec. Those specs you can find in the Warn manual or your winch manual, as well as our instruction manual. We're now going to prep and install the bumper insert skid plate system. As mentioned, we have the off-road package, so it comes with the lights pre-installed, but I disassembled it a little bit to show you a couple different variations. So you can run the lights in two different configurations, with the mesh or without the mesh for most light output. But all kits will come with this mesh system here. So if you don't have the lights, you can run just this. We're gonna run the lights as well as the mesh, and that just installs with the factory hardware from the lights. Just remove that. This slides in between and fasten
fasten it all back down. If you don't have the lights, it'll just be a nut on the backside. Okay, now grab all your M8 U-nuts as well as the smaller brackets here. We're going to install all the U-nuts facing the same direction on this bar. They will just slide and clip in place. And for these acute angle brackets here, same thing, with all the flat flanges facing the outside. So using a couple of the black fasteners we took out of the skid plate, we need to reattach this brace on either side. So insert the fastener and cinch the nut down on the backside. Install these acute brackets into the bumper. We're just going to get everything finger tight, and then once the whole assembly is together, we'll tighten it all down. Take this long bracket here. It sits up in behind the bumper. And now it's time for our complete skid plate system, which will tuck up and all those holes will line up. Using the powder coated black hardware, get a few started. And again, because we are using the captive nuts, it's going to be really easy to tighten this all down. So now that all the fasteners are started, begin by tightening these inside brackets first, the bumper. And then you can tighten the exterior ones. So the off-road fog lights plug directly into the stock fog lights. So to get to them, just remove this inner bumper panel here, just a couple 8 mils. Undo and remove the outside 3. And then just loosen these inner ones off a tad. And the inner fender will lift right out. This will expose the fog light itself, which is right here. Now keep the orientation so the power positive is on the right side here. So when we unplug it, we'll plug that directly into the red side of the harness. These are H11 plugs and they can be plugged both ways. So just want to keep track. So there's our hot or positive there. It's going to go on the right hand side. And this Deutsch connector will plug directly into the fog light here. Now take this wiring and you can follow the factory bumper harness along and just retain it in place with your cable ties. So speaking of wiring, we still need to take care of this control box relocation wiring. Best route, follow the harness that goes to the steering. And so we'll follow that up through the engine bay here. And then grab it on the top side. Grab your control box with the top lid removed, and we are going to attach that to our extended wiring set in the same colors they came off with. So yellow, green, red, blue. Bent end, and it goes on the terminal. So we've got the power cables all tightened up and spaced so there's no way they're going to contact each other. Don't forget the ground. The small 14 gauge cable here that grounds to the winch goes out and it grounds on this terminal right here. So Phillips screwdriver, loosen that off, capture all the grounds. There are 1, 2, 3 of them. And then retighten it on that stud. So that's all wired. Now we'll connect our connector here for the top lid. That tucks off to the side. Make sure you put the lid on the correct way. And then we're going to install the Phillips fasteners on the bottom side. Our custom control box bracket mounts on the bottom of the control box, just using the worn Allen head fasteners. Get all 4 started and then snug it down. We will also offer a universal control box mount if you're going to try to make your own winch work, as well as one likely for the Xeon and Smitty built. Control box installs in this front compartment here. Loosen this fastener right out. 13mm socket. Insert it through the bracket. Slide the control box down so that lines up. Find a place that it sits comfortably and tighten it back down. So this still gives access to your fuse box, but you can also access the plug to charge your wireless remote. And as well, being up here, I find that the signal for the wireless remote is much better. The positive attaches directly to the battery positive terminal. Again, make sure you've got your negative not attached. Pull the cover off. It exposes this 5/16 or 8mm stud. Break that free. Install the winch power cable terminal right over it. Like so. And tighten it back down. Take a zap strap, secure this in place here, and then that's going to allow us to reinstall this safety cover on the battery. The winch ground cable connects to the battery negative terminal right here, the 10mm socket. You can loosen that off. Carefully remove the nut. Install the cable. And then align this plug to where it was sitting initially, right there. And tighten this nut down. Before you attach it, reconnect this plug to the sensor. And we are going to attach this now to the battery. Tighten the battery terminal, and with that tight, now you can just go and just make sure that is still tight. We're going to go through and make sure that all the wires aren't attached or near moving parts, hot coolant lines, and are routed away from any sort of vibration or sharp edges. Getting to the really fun part now. So grab your remote and connect to your winch on the Warn VR Evo. Hold down the top button until that blue light lights up. We're going to tension the line so it doesn't rattle. Just careful all the pinch points. Let it suck in. Nice and firm there. Nothing's going to rattle around while you're driving. This inspection cover skid plate, we can install it now. It's nice, it comes off easy so you can see, and if you need to re-spool your line, but it also acts as a full skid plate. So we are skidded all the way down to here. Let's install that now using the 10mm fasteners. Thread this into those U-nuts you installed earlier. And tighten those down. The last step is to reinstall the factory differential skid plate using the factory hardware on the rear cross member. Attach that side first. Just leaving it a little bit loose to give access to the front. And on the front side, reinstall this hardware we just removed, but install the shim we provide between the two mating surfaces. This will ensure that this front edge doesn't contact the winch mount. And because we removed these fasteners, just make sure they are re-torqued to spec. And while we're under here, it should be noted that we are working on a more protective differential and steering skid plate for these 25 trucks. And as well as another one that is going to extend further back. These crossover pipes for the inline 6 twin turbo engine are extremely exposed. Definitely don't want to pinch those, as well as we've got some pretty exposed catalytic converters. So we'll protect those from theft. We see you, Portland. But yeah, so make sure you like and subscribe so you can know when those are released.
That concludes the installation of our 25 RAM REBEL hidden winch mount. Head to our website, www.vicedesign.ca, to get the very best in fit, form, and function for your Ram truck.